Focus on yourself and they will come running. We like to think that we need so many people to get certain things done. And in reality, that's not the truth. We've been taught that there's power in numbers. You got to get the numbers. You got to get the numbers. But I have come to understand that the quality is the most important thing. So when you search for the quality, or when you focus on the quality, everything else takes flight in actuality. So we spend time and we're running after people, whether it's relationships, whether it's business, no matter what it is. And we don't realize that the key is in focusing on developing ourselves, and everyone will come running. So while you thinking that there's strength in numbers, it's not strength in numbers. It's about the strength of the energy. So you can have big numbers of people, but in reality, big numbers of people don't mean that you're so powerful. It doesn't mean that you're going to have massive success, because there's fragmentation, what I call fragmentation in numbers. There's division in numbers. Why do you think some of the greatest singing groups or some of the greatest sports teams broke up? You'll see a singing group and they'll go platinum. They'll have one record or maybe 2 records, but they won't have 5 records. They won't have 3 records. They won't have 7 records. They won't have 10 records, because quite often somebody has an ego. Somebody has a hidden agenda. Somebody has a different agenda, because with all of those personalities, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5 people. With all those personalities, you're bound to have fragmentation. You're bound to have separation, because it's so many people to manage. But if you have one person, one singer is not going to leave itself, or 2 people, it depends, right? So in actuality, the strength of the energy, not so many different energies, the strength of the vibration of the energy is what's going to give you the power, not having all of these people. So I myself, I would rather have, if they gave me a decision, they said, look, make a decision. Would you rather have 25 people and they're a little bit scattered, or would you rather have 7 people that are all out on the same accord, one goal, one heartbeat? Give me the 7 people. We can accomplish so much more. But with 25 people that are iffy, that one might be doing something and 5 might be doing something else, I can't work with that. So the strength is in the energy. The strength is in the frequency. What is the power that you can harness? If we have 3 of us, well, how much power can each of us harness if we're all focused on one goal? This is why you see that also in sports teams. Now they have a thing called super teams, where this guy will get with this guy's team and they'll try to team up, and they'll try to, everybody would think that they would run the league. But what often happens is it's the egos that get in the way. Everybody's on their own agenda. You take this guy and put this guy on this team when this guy has been used to being the man, so to speak. So now there's division with these numbers. There's not strength with these numbers. I remember the Pistons, I think we're back in, was it 03? The Pistons beat the Lakers. I think it was 03. I can't remember, but the Pistons beat the Lakers, and the Lakers had Gary Payton. They had Karl Malone. They had Shaquille. They had Kobe, and everybody thought that they would win. And then you had the Pistons, which were a bunch of hard-working people, players, but they were one heartbeat, and they end up beating the Lakers. Now, if you were to look on paper, you would think that the Lakers were going to blow them out, but that's not what happened. It was because the strength of the energy, everybody was on one accord. So you don't need a lot of people, because many people cause the fragmentation. It is scattered. The energy is always or often scattered, because that's a lot of personalities to deal with without somebody having their own ideas or going another way. So The thing is that the key to this is focusing on yourself. When you focus on yourself, you're going to bring the exact people that you need in your circle, and your chances of having quality is much better than you focusing on quantity. Which one would I rather have? 100,000 people following the message on YouTube that are locked into every word, that are locked into practically implementing all of these things, or 1 million people that they might be here because they were feeling good that day and they saw a viral video? Which one would I rather have? I'd rather have the 100,000, because the 100,000, it has the concentration of energy to transform other lives. So I don't have to worry about that million, because the million is not going to really do anything. It looks good in number, but the energy output is not the same. So we want energy output. You yourself, which is why we say sacred silence, being quiet, you yourself, you are more powerful than 4 people that are doubtful in you. You yourself are more powerful than telling 4 people, this is what I want to do. So you're telling those 4 people, and you're selling that vibration, because now, right, they're putting out so-called negative energy. But if you keep that and you allow that gestation period of that energy to build up, because all energy, all desires go through a gestation period. It has to soak, it has to mature before it can have the power. So imagine if it's 2 or 3 or 4 of you guys with that type of power on one accord versus 12 people that are scattered. So this is the dilemma that many people face. They think numbers. They try to go numbers, numbers, numbers. No, quality. Quality is always the key. And the quality happens based upon the concentration of energy. So never think that the numbers, oh, there's strength in numbers. There's fragmentation and division in numbers. Too hard to get everybody on one accord. You see this from day to day. You can go to your job right now, and there's going to be groups of people, because these people get along with these people and these get along with these people. It's going to be, if it's 20 employees, there might be 4 groups or 3 to 5 groups. So that's fragmentation, depending upon the company, right? Depending upon the energy of the company. That's fragmentation. So ideally, you don't need a lot of people to get things done. You can get things done with very few people. So don't go thinking that because you've got this many people, well, we don't know who's truly committed. We don't know who's truly in alignment. Now, if you have that type of number and you have the alignment, then you're dealing with some unstoppable forces. Any revolution, anytime anyone has done anything, think of it in mass quantity, is because they were all on one accord. But that doesn't happen often. But you, as it relates to your life, you don't need many people to get done what you need to get done. You can take a handful of people and you can impact the world. There are companies that run with like 7 people, and those companies do millions and millions of dollars because the energy is there. The strength of the energy is there. The vibration and the frequency is there. But if they were divided, what could 7 people do? 7 people couldn't do anything. So it goes to show you that when the alignment is there, the strength is there. When the fragmentation is there, you're weak, no matter how many people you have, because there's a chink in your armor, as they say. That means that you can be penetrated. Your armor, your house, somebody can break in your house and break everything up, so you're not that strong, because it's not a fortress. So think in terms of quality. Think in terms of low numbers. No, think in terms of energy, not necessarily the numbers, because you may be able to get 10 people that are on that accord 100%. What usually happens, what typically happens, which is why authenticity is very important, which is why I encourage you to remain authentic to yourself always, is that you don't have to go searching. As I said, when you focus on yourself, everyone will come running. Come running in the sense that everybody that's on your wavelength, everybody that's align with what you're doing, you're going to magically meet up. You're going to magically come together. It's going to seem like magic, but all it is vibration and frequency. It's just under the laws of the universe. It has to happen. That's how it's going to happen. But when you put your energy outside yourself and you start chasing to figure things out, you're running after people, you're wasting it. That is a poor use of your creative energy. You're wasting time, because the outside is just a reflection. That's all it is. The outside is the reflection. The outside is not the reason. The outside is the outcome. Ironically, the outcome is outside, but the inside is what's causing everything. So the outside is the shadow. When you look at your life, you're looking at the shadow. You're not looking at the actual object. The inside is the object that causes the shadow. So every time you're going chasing after something and you haven't done the work internally, you're going to like run in a circle like a dog chasing his tail, and the same things are going to continue to happen to you. You're going to come across the same exact people all the time. And then that's when you'll realize that wherever you go, there you are. It's not about the opportunities. It's not about other people doing this to you. It's about you and your unwillingness to do the internal work. Focus on yourself, and everybody comes. Everything comes. If we're operating, if we're understanding that we're all magnets. You don't need all these different people to do things. You can be powerful with a small group of people that are aligned. The strength is in the energy. That's what a strength is. What good is it if I got 20 people and I can't count on them, and they're sometime me, and this one has these ideas and these ideas? What good is that? You can see these types of things in political parties. Somebody that you wouldn't think would win, they would win because they all believe in the same thing. That's how it works. But if you have some people there, they're like, yeah, I'm over here, but I really think that group over there, I think they got the idea. Well, guess what happens? Energy is read. We read energy. See, that's the other part. We read energy. Or energy reads energy, because energy never dissipates. So you can think that you're hiding, but the energy doesn't lie. And so you will get, right, the shadow, you will get the outcome of what energy you're truly emanating. If it's desperate energy, people will repel. They will push back from you. That's why I said there's no chasing. There's just focusing on yourself and allowing things to align. So nobody's begging, nobody's asking, nobody's desperate. In fact, it's the opposite. Now we're confident. Now we're authentic. Now we're of supreme value. And you have no choice but to align with those type of people. Focus on yourself. You can get a lot done with just a few people. The strength is not in the numbers. The strength is in the concentration of energy.